Hi lovelies, welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video. So I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok and I thought to share with you guys. Well, the Hispan-colored man is actually setting records straight to white listeners, and I was able to put on his stage. I'm just gonna roll his clip as well as some other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
So the question reads, hi Danny, do you know why white people dislike black people so much? So as usual, this will be for educational purposes only. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, I do not believe that the overwhelming majority of white people in America dislike black people. I honestly believe that the biggest issue that we have in this country is defining what racism is. On one side of the coin, there is the collective thought that anyone has the ability to be racist. And they use the very literal definition that prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group. Then it says typically one that is a minority or marginalized. On the other side of the coin, there's a popular belief that people of color can't be racist because they don't have enough power. That racism, the thinking goes, transcends prejudice. It's a system of advantage based on race, and people of color don't have the institutional power to oppress others. So basically, this type of racism is structural, it's institutional, it's in the systems. It is power plus prejudice equals racism. And Dr. Ibram X. Kendi, in his phenomenal book on how to be anti-racist, he says the notion that black people can't be racist is tainted by racism itself. And he is quoted as saying, like every other racist idea, the powerless defense underestimates black people and overestimates white people. My thoughts are that if we are going to improve race relations, we need to have more honest conversations. I believe that us as a society, we spend much of our time infighting, arguing with each other over what it means to be racist, that we lose sight of what's really important. And if we listened with the intent to understand rather than to deflect or argue, we could gain a lot of ground. Now, one of my biggest struggles with understanding my own racism was knowing the difference between interpersonal racism and institutional racism. I thought because I wasn't running around calling black people the N-word, I had black friends, I had friends who had biracial kids, that it was impossible for me to be racist because I got along with black people. But what I've learned is that there are different types of racism. There's internalized racism, there's interpersonal racism that we just spoke on, institutional racism and structural racism. It's insidious, it's covert, it comes in the form of microaggressions. It comes in the form of being implicit and explicit, covert and overt. So I don't believe that it's white people disliking black people. I just believe that there's a lot of uneducated and misguided white people who have not done the work to become educated on the topic. And I don't want to seem like I'm justifying or excusing racism because we have a whole wealth of information at our fingertips. There is no excuse for it today. So my message to people would be to stop taking it so personal. When we talk about racism, it's not to attack your character, but it is to attack your education, your thoughts, and your ideas. Understand that we still uphold a constitution that was written by slave owners. We had the abolishment of slavery except when punishment for a crime. We still have legalized slavery written into our constitution by way of the 13th Amendment. And think about it, in 2022, we still had states that had slavery on the ballot. Alabama, Oregon, Tennessee, and Vermont all voted to end the exception, end the exemptions for slavery as punishment for a crime. And states like Louisiana rejected it. And you know why? Because it would cause them to lose a whole bunch of money. When we as a nation are profiting off the labor of our citizens, we are incentivizing crime. Crime technically pays, and it makes sense to create a prison industrial complex in which we have 2 million prisoners in the United States. And as a country, black incarceration rates are dropping, but we still have a lot of work to do. 1,807 black men per 100,000 were held in state or federal prisons during 2021. it was 324 white men. And at the height of mass incarceration, it was estimated that 1 in 3 black males, while 1 in 17 white males, and it was 1 in 6 Hispanic males, would be incarcerated during their lifetime or become convicted felons. And in my opinion, our criminal justice system is the epicenter of systemic or institutional racism in America. But it's all throughout our systems. It's in our housing, it's in our banking, it's in our education, it's in our voting, the way we do democracy, healthcare, the list goes on. And if we as white people aren't working together, standing in solidarity collectively to dismantle this, we are by default being racist. And of course, you're going to have the group of people that scream it's personal accountability, it's the family dynamics, it's the culture. And me personally, I don't believe personal accountability and advocating for a better system are mutually exclusive ideas. Both can be true at the same time. And there's this common misconception that white people today have to pay for the sins of our ancestors and that white people owe black people, and that's just not the case. The United States government committed these egregious acts against black Americans. It is our responsibility to hold the government accountable if we believe in justice like we say we do. And Bryan Stevenson said it best, in the United States, wealth, not culpability, shapes justice. And this is why classism and racism are so closely related. What group of people has been robbed of the most generational wealth? So I may be a little naive, but as always, I want to believe in the goodness of humanity. There aren't a lot of white people who just flat out dislike black people, and the ones who are explicitly racist are not the ones that we have to worry about. It is the well-intentioned, God-fearing, family-loving, hard-working, tax-paying, community-serving, everyday white person that we have to worry about because they walk through this life unaffected and it's business as usual. So this is for educational purposes only. The question says, why do black people hate white people so much? It goes both ways. Let's talk about it. Let me tell you why it doesn't work both ways. Never has there been a time in the United States in which black people had structural power and the ability to weaponize that power to discriminate and hate against white people. However, there was a period of time, a long period of time in the United States in which white people hated black people for nothing other than their race and had the power to do something about it. White pride is rooted in white supremacy and was birthed out of a place of exerting power and control over other demographics of people. Black pride, on the other hand, was rooted in surviving oppression. Black pride was the conscious collective effort of a community to stop the erasure of culture and history. Any hatred, vitriol, and distrust by black people for white people is a natural byproduct of years of systemic oppression in the United States. The pathway forward to building that bridge and regaining that trust is for white people to not only acknowledge the egregious acts that the United States government committed against black Americans, not only acknowledge the wrongdoing of our ancestors. Most white people have done that part. They're starting to acknowledge history, but it stops there. They will say that's a long time ago, this is now. The problem is today, white people are still feigning ignorance and they're not actively working to stand in solidarity and dismantle the tools of oppression that are still in place today. Most white people, particularly white people on the right, will tell you that systemic racism does not exist today. In spite of the mounting evidence and data, right now in our country, there is this yearning for this kumbaya, can't we all just get along? The problem with that line of thinking is that it's very superficial, it's surface level. In a perfect world, we just say, stop the hate, end racism, everybody get along, and voila, everything will be back to normal. The reason why that never works is because there is something much larger and nefarious at play that profits off of our division. Till we, and when I say we, I mean particularly white people, because black people have been screaming this for years, until we address the institutions and systems that are perpetuating this racism, we will never affect change. You know, there was a time when I used to hear black people say, screw them saltines, I'll say it mildly, but I used to get so mad until I understood the root cause of black pain and black anger in this country. It wasn't until I got educated, I deconstructed and re-educated myself, that my whole worldview and perspective changed. I will never say any form of hatred or bigotry is okay. But if I see hatred coming from a marginalized community, from a group of people that have historically been oppressed, I will try to understand and empathize where that hatred is coming from and do the work to do what I can to de-escalate and defuse that hatred and turn it into love. But that takes a whole lot of work in earning trust, and I don't know what length people who look like me are willing to go.
Like, seriously, lovelies, I don't understand the reason why these pan-colored people will not, try to understand that black people do not, I repeat, they do not dislike you because of the color of your skin. Black people do not dislike you because you just came out being white. No. The only thing that black people dislike is the thing that comes with being pan-colored. All the attributes that comes with being black, pan-colored. All of the things you can do, all of the privilege you have for being pan-colored, all of those privilege that you have, but being a black person, you don't have such privilege. This is the only thing that I think black people dislike. Nobody is disliking you because you feel that, okay, because my skin is light, so they dislike me. No, you are mistaking it. The only thing that black people dislike is the fact that you, as a person, you know that you have been born in a system whereby you are favored. You have been born in a system whereby you can do some certain things and you get away with it. You have been born in a system whereby the economic whatever favors you. And you, on the other hand, you are using that privilege against black people. You are using the privilege you have to go against black people, to actually do something, to actually become rare and cease. This is what black people is talking about. You are using the privilege you have to humiliate your fellow human being because you feel that, okay, I am in a position to do that. You are using the privilege you have to subdue people. You are using the privilege you have to actually have this white women tears that automatically is going to put a black person in trouble. You are using that privilege you have. This is exactly what black people don't like. Nobody dislikes you because you were born and automatically you become right. Nobody dislikes you for that. They only dislike what being white is all about. There are so many things as a pan-colored person you can actually do and you get away with it. But if any other person does that, this person might be serving in time. Like, there is so many discrimination. You as a pan-colored person, you can actually walk into a supermarket, you can even shoplift, and nobody's gonna suspect you. But all because a black person just walked past, you as a black person will not be suspected. Meanwhile, you are the one that shoplifted. But this black person, or because of the color of her skin, you have been called out that you've just been shortlisted. So this is just the problem. This is just the problem. A lot of time, pan-colored people are like, oh my God, black people dislike us, so we dislike them. These are different ways. You are disliking people that you are better off. It doesn't make any sense. You can't dislike someone that you are way better off, someone that you have privilege more than, someone that the economy or system, your life is better off. Like, it's not even possible. So enough of this victim mentality. Oh my God, they dislike us, we dislike them too. So it doesn't have to be any both ways. You have all the level, the privilege, and all of that. Anyways, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or worse. We're just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.